I am Tomás O'Leary from the Passive House Academy, and we're now providing training programs here in New York City. Behind me here you can see one of the most iconic buildings in the whole of New York, and also the tallest building in New York, and that's the Empire State Building. In the last year or so, the Empire State Building has undergone a major retrofit program to try and reduce its energy consumption. And it's a very interesting story actually. One of the things that they've done is they closed down the third floor to open up a window retrofit factory. And floor by floor, office by office, they've taken out all the old glazing units which were put in the 1990s, and they're double glazed units. They take them out of the offices, bring them down to the factory floor. At night time they split these windows open. They put an extra layer of foil in the middle so that it kind of makes it like triple glazed windows, and they replace the old aluminium spacer with a much lower conductivity spacer, and they put those windows back the very same night, so the occupier of the office has no idea that this work has gone on. And through this measure they've gradually retrofitted the 6,700 windows, reduced the heating bill in the winter time and the air conditioning bill in the summertime through these measures. We're in a different location now, and we're going to talk a little bit about the course on thermal bridging that we've developed. At the Passive House Academy we've developed a special calculator for Passive House consultants that they can use to calculate thermal bridges for Passive House designs. So we're going to present this course, this 2-day course now at this beautiful facility behind me. This is called Solar One, and it's on the East River, and you can see the south-facing roof there is covered in photovoltaic panels, and this training facility generates enough electricity to run itself. So this is a very nice and very appropriate location to run a course on Passive House. The course will spend 2 days working with all the course participants in looking at thermal bridge detailing, using the Therm software to calculate the first part of the thermal bridge analysis, and then using our specially developed calculator for the US market in order to calculate the psi value.
54 degrees here, and what does that tell us, guys? Definitely not good for Passive House anyhow, or for any building. We can get the likes of what we discussed earlier in the presentations, condensation and mold growth at the corners. So this really bad detail is a classic example of what can bring up problems such as this.
Okay, here we have, everybody wave. Here we have the first advanced, as it turns out, thermal bridge course in the United States, presented by the Passive House Academy and led by Bob Ryan. So everybody, what do we say to Bob? Awesome.
Awesome.
Okay, guys.
My name is Ken Levinson, New York Passive House, and I'd like to thank TRUSPA very much for hosting this evening's event in this wonderful space, great location. It's a step up from some of our past events, locations, but this is great. And there's a lot happening with New York Passive House, and we're really pleased that Tomás O'Leary from the Passive House Academy in Ireland is able to come over and do this presentation along with a series of other seminars that he's been doing in New York. I had the really the joy, I would have to say, of taking their thermal bridging seminar, 2-day seminar over last Friday and Saturday that Tomás and Bob conducted. And it was really fantastic. It was a great group of students, and the instruction was very collaborative feel. And so I just want to mention that they are doing, the Academy will be conducting certified Passive House consultant training in May, 8-day course. And from our experience in the thermal bridge training, no problem recommending anybody that might be consider taking the training to sign up for the May training. It's really quite wonderful.
So what we want to try and do again is put the window out in the insulation layer It needs this small 2x2 batten here, or depending on the window size, just to carry the weight of the window. And otherwise then we're getting as much insulation around that window as possible. This is an absolute classic window fit and detail. 99% of windows that are put into passive houses, masonry passive houses, are fitted like this. By the way, the reason we're showing the window sill and not the jambs or the head is the window sill is the hardest part to cover, because as I said to you, you can't cover all of the window frame. So if you get it right here, you're going to have a swimming detail all around the sides and the head, no problem. So this again is thermal bridge free and is a pretty nice detail.
Okay, so we've just rounded up our last week in New York. We've had a great time. We've done a 2-day thermal bridge course last week, went down really well. We've done a primer course, which was a half-day course, and very good feedback. And we also talked to 70 architects from around the city about passive house projects at a meetup group last night. We've also gone to visit some in New York and Brooklyn's prime passive house projects, and they're really interesting. We really love what's going on here and look forward to coming back soon for our passive house consultant course.
Basically get back to passive house standards. Yeah. So one thing you can do is you could reduce the size of the balcony. So you can say to the client, look, I know you wanted a 10 foot. Is there any way we could sort of take 8 foot here? Maybe 8 foot. I don't think 8 foot would be enough as a matter of interest. Or really and truly what you're going to have to focus in on is this number, isn't it? If this was thermal bridge free, the 0.00, actually just run that for fun, right? Let's say you got a thermal bridge free, 0.006. Just for practice, run the numbers again for me. So now make this number. So what is the interior thermal resistance of external walls? You're on there, team. Which? 0.13, is that right? Yes, okay, very good. That's 90 points. Okay, somebody understand?
And it has a little articulation. We were talking about what effect it would have to bring it out beyond even the face of the glass or a little further out to protect the point of the frame of the window. So we just made this little articulation which would come around and basically let light in but block a little more of the frame.
Well, maybe step it out. Yeah, well, there's one last piece of lighting. We'll put it.
If the equipment you're selecting is big enough in its sensible capacity to meet your sensible load, that it is also good enough in its latent capacity to meet your latent loads. Not necessarily a safe assumption, but I suggest to you that for New York City residential buildings, for the equipment that I just showed you, it is a safe assumption.
Feel free. Listen, I know they didn't have a chance to get together to think of doing this, but I know you're a little bit late. So I kind of took the liberty for everybody to get together. Thank you. Very appropriate. Thank you very much.
Let's have a look here, right? TIA guide to New York City. Fantastic.
So you got all my
As much as possible. I mean, I think the nice thing, one of the really nice things about this project shows the applicability of this project to a much broader audience than the clientele. They don't need to spend $1 million to do a passive house. The budget was very modest, and it was a really good balance it gave in terms of construction costs and getting bang for the buck. Right, we removed the snoop, which is not so much a house thing, but a livability. How are they going to use the house in the future? But most of the decisions in terms of the design, I think, and the layout really was not affected by the decision to try to go for passive house standard construction.
Here we are on West 14th Street. Behind us is the Pratt Institute, where we've run our 8-day Passive House Consultant course. We just finished yesterday. The feedback has been hugely positive. I think everybody felt they've learned a lot during the course. We had a lot of fun together and we learned a lot from each other. So it's been great to be here in New York to deliver our first program, and we look forward to coming back here very soon to run